What's up? What's up? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member of the channel, and also hit the notifications to get each and every one of my videos. Now, Jamal Charlo versus Castano, they're going to go ahead, they're going to repeat this fight. They're going to redo it. They're going to fight a second time. The first time, in my opinion, Castano won that fight. He won it hands down. Even though it was ruled a draw, Castano, I gotta be real, man. He outboxed and out strategized Jamal Charlo for the duration of the fight. Now, towards the end, Jamal started to come on. He started to come on pretty strong, and surprisingly, a lot of people didn't really watch this fight. I thought it was a really one of the most slept on fights that had taken place this year. But Castano should have won that first one. Just like a lot of people felt like Triple G won the first fight against Canelo. Even when it was scored a draw. Now, Charlo is going to have to come back. Charlo is going to have to come back, and he's really going to have to show a better outputting than what he did the first time. He can't come out there lacking, right? From jump start, he has to go out there and he has to pretty much set the tone from the beginning. Which some fighters are really good at doing that, and some fighters they're not so good at doing that sort of thing. When it comes to strategizing, like Terrence Crawford, you gotta be 100 when you say that he's good at strategizing. He's good at strategizing. He might not do it in the way that you want him to, but he's good at strategizing. Errol Spence, he's good. He's real tactical. He's got good ring IQ and he knows how to strategize. The Charlos don't really know how to strategize all that well. Okay, and that's the both of them. And to me, that comes with emotional, like they tend to get caught up in their emotions, and it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, in my opinion. Now, that's not to take anything away from Jamal Charlo. He's still a tremendous fighter and a tremendous talent. But if people are talking about, oh yeah, well, he should have, he had a chance to fight, Canelo had a chance to fight Charlo and everything like that. Well, wait a minute, you're struggling against a guy like Castano and can't get, to him, what would have made you even think that you were on the level of Canelo? What possessed you to think that? Everybody wants to talk about his power and all this other stuff. If you had that much power and all this other stuff, then you would have displayed that in that fight against Castano. Castano outboxed you. He had good defense in that fight, except for towards the end of the fight. But for the beginning of the fight, I mean, he was just clearly outboxing. Clearly outboxing. But the reason why he has to win this fight is because if you plan on going further and wanting to get all these other fights up under your belt, nobody's really gonna take you that serious. Nobody's gonna really take you that serious. I didn't really listen. As much as I like the Charlos and everything, but we gotta also call a spade too. First and foremost, as far as them doing some of the stuff that they do outside of the ring, I don't particularly agree with. But we're not talking about that here. And I think like the more and more I conversate with some people on on YouTube, especially when it pertains to sports, people tend to get in their feelings. They get their personal feelings involved. Look, I don't like the fact that the Charlo brothers, they tend to be overly controversial, tend to say some things, about people making threats and stuff like that. And I got hitters and all that other stuff, man, and acting erratic and crazy stuff like that. Hey, look, come on, man, you're a professional now. You're a professional boxer, and your job is to get in the ring and display your registered hands that you have in the ring, okay? But aside from that, I think they're great, tremendous talents. But I also have to be objective about this, you know, them too. But really, we're talking about Jamal in this case, and it's all this screaming about, oh yeah, well, I need to fight this person or I need to fight that person next. Oh yeah, these people need to be put together and stuff like that. Man, you gotta can we get to the first person in front of you, get through that person first, because you still have to establish defeating that person. Hey, you say what you want about Tyson Fury. You know, it was a draw the first time. Tyson Fury won the second time. And then when they fought for a third time, even with the allegations about, the glove and them saying he cheated and all this other stuff, hey, he went against the grain and he proved them wrong. He went against the grain and he proved them wrong. And that's what Jamal Charlo is gonna have to do in this fight right here. The same thing with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, he went in there and, before the fight even started, people were already talking about, Terrence Crawford, Buzz Crawford and Spence. They're already looking ahead. And it was disrespectful to Sean Porter. Now Sean Porter ended up losing, but it was disrespectful to Sean Porter. We have to get through that first fight. We have to get through the fight first and see if Sean Porter would have won. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Nobody would even take Bud seriously. I can guarantee you that. They would have been like, "Oh, he doesn't deserve to be undisputed." And not only doesn't deserve to be undisputed, everybody would be looking for Sean Porter or Porter versus Spence part two, because they did want to fight a second time, whether we want to believe that or not. They did want to fight a second time because they were arguing about the numbers at the press conference, about how many numbers each fighter can pull in terms of revenue and things of that nature. But Jamal he has to win this fight, man. He's got to win, and he's got to win with flying colors. And if he doesn't, I don't think it's going to pan out well for him. If it goes to a decision, like a UD, a United, or let's say, where it's going to come down to, who was better, and just go really to the scorecards and not nothing that's going to wow you, or UD or something like that, unanimous decision or something, then I don't know that how that's going to pan out well for Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? He's either got to go in there looking for the knockout, or he got to set the tone the whole fight. He's got to dominate the fight. It's just like with Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people, I'm gonna bring up a perfect example, okay? And everybody thinks that every fight is the same. Each fight is different, unless the boxer is doing the same thing each time. It doesn't come with any type of strategy, uh, any type of ring IQ or anything. Manny Pacquiao was knocking people out. He was knocking people out, uh, just beating the brakes off of people before Floyd. Floyd wasn't knocking anybody out. Okay, Floyd, he was tremendous. He was speed, athleticism, everything. You know, he outboxed pretty much everybody that he faced. Manny Pacquiao was beating people to death, or some people. When Manny Pacquiao got into the ring with Floyd, couldn't even get around on Floyd. Clearly outboxed him with flying colors. And see, everybody thinks that, okay, yeah, just because Terrence Crawford whooped the shit out of Sean Porter and knocked him down twice or whatever, and Earl Spence only scored a knockdown one in the fight or whatnot. They automatically think that, okay, there's an equivalency to that, and it's not, because every fight is different. You got to approach every individual different. You know what I'm saying? And there's got to be a new strategy, and that's why you go out for the fill out game. That's why Canelo. As much as people want to talk shit about Canelo and say this about Canelo, the one thing that Canelo is so great at is filling a person out, or that's how he evolved. He evolved with filling his opponent out, and then once he got the strategy and the tactic and has figured out everything, it's night for the most part. What's up with it, Young? I'll see you in the building. What's up with it, Jelly Bean? Big Who, I'll see y'all in here. It's night for the most part. Every fight is different. Every every match is different, and people need to understand that every individual is different. Now, do I think that Charlo is going to win this fight? I don't know for certain. I don't know for certain. Not after what I saw the first fight. Not after after that first fight. I don't know. I have no clue. I was confident when I picked Canelo over Plant. I was confident. I thought I was confident enough to pick Porter over Crawford. I was wrong with that. Uh, I also, when it came to Fury and when it came to Wilder, I was kind of on the fence for that. I didn't even really choose anybody. I said whoever is going to win that fight, they would have to dominate the first couple of rounds. So we'll see what happens, man. We will really see what happens. Uh, you know, it's going to be interesting to see who Castano would face if he won this fight. That's going to be real interesting to see. Who would who would he face after winning this fight? And see, another thing is, if I'm Charlo, I win this fight, I move up. I move up. I'm shoot. I'm going to go chase the bigger fish. Move up. Listen. Everybody wants to get all critical about, oh, Canelo's not fighting anybody. He was one of the ones to say, oh yeah, well he's not fighting no black people and all this other stuff. Look, hey, we gotta be equal about everything too as well. Who's on your resume, Charlo? You know, I mean, y'all are great talents and everything, and y'all part people and stuff. But believe it or not, when they go into the ring, they only know y'all. Unless you really know the sport of boxing, they only know y'all. That's it. So you're gonna have to move up, and you're gonna have to try to go for the bigger fish, and not only go for the bigger fish, you're gonna have to go for the uh, you're gonna have to go for the names on your resume. You're gonna have to update your resume. So other than that, people ain't gonna take you seriously. Like the only thing you have right now is really your name, and you lose to Castano, you're gonna be heavily criticized for it. You're gonna be heavily criticized for it. So y'all tell me what you think. Leave your comments, like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Follow Sports Talking ENT. I'll get at y'all later.